Hello and welcome back to my scrap room. My name is Jennifer Perry, and today we're going to continue our little series of photographs from 2013 from the family vacation that we took. It was part of convention for Close to My Heart, and we went, and we normally would, you know, a couple days before, a couple days after, and turn convention into a family vacation. So that particular year, convention was at Disney World, and we did all kinds of things. We did Universal Studios, we did Disney, we visited grandparents, we visited museums, we did all kinds of stuff. We did so much stuff that I have now had to break 2013 into 2 volumes of albums. I've never had to break a scrapbook into 2 volumes before in the entire time that I've ever been scrapbooking, but I had to do it this time. But today we're going to take a pattern out of the Magic book. I love these books. I have every one of them. I have duplicates of every one of them. That's how much I use these books. So the pattern that we're going to be using is on page 22, and this is the pattern. So I'm going to just kind of scooch it over to the side so that I can see it. I'm also going to be using some thickers. These are the Sicily stickers. I'm going to be using some flair that I made. I just basically took some, I don't even know what these little buttons are called, but I bought them on Amazon, and I just took stickers and stuck underneath them. They're completely clear buttons. And then some compliments out of a very old paper pack. I also have some Whisper thread. May or may not be using, but I think I'm leaning towards using it. I have already done the cuts. For this particular layout, you need 2 pieces of B&T paper, one lighter and one darker. And I'll hold this up so you can actually see the cuts if you'd like to make them. And let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is separate my cuts. I do this every time. I know that one goes there. Oh, I have to stitch that one. This one goes here. These 2 go here. This one goes here. That one goes there. Okay. And then we have 1, 2, 3. That one. Okay, I'm going to set this aside real fast. It's going to be like that. Like that. That, and then this guy. There, okay. So this is the general layout. I'm going to nail everything down because there's some stitching that I need to do, and I need to have it down. Now the papers that I'm using are from the silver and gold paper pack. It retired, I believe, a year ago, and I'm just trying to get the paper used up. So I found the papers that are not Christmassy, because this is not a Christmassy layout. And I'm using those. Use your pokey pad of choice. This is just a piece of 12 by 12 cork for me. It is my pokey pad of choice. This is my favorite pokey ruler. It's almost on its last leg, and if I could ever find another one, I'd buy 10 more. I use it that often. So you've seen me do stitching in the past. There's 3 things that I'm going to stitch. I'm going to stitch this one, this one, and this one. And this one is not stitched. Okay. So I want my pokey stick. Oh, here's my pokey stick right here. And I need a couple of these. And you've seen me do this before, so I'm going to turn my book on real fast, start working, and that way I can speed it up for you guys. And I'll see you in just a moment. Okay, so I finished stitching. I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to put it in my little tomato because I'm not finished with it. And I don't want it to end up in the carpet and in my foot. So just put it in my tomato like that. And I'm just going to set this aside. Right there. So this photograph is just a huge postcard that I bought of Edison's Workshop. That will work. Scoot that over real fast. Get off my finger. Just stacking embellishments. Because I have so much tape on the back of this one and ribbon or embroidery thread, I'm going to put some score tape on the back of this one too. Ow! There, see if that works. Sliced my finger open cleaning the bathroom. The mirror. And I guess it hadn't closed yet because the edges of these little things kept going right into it. Add some pressure since I wasn't able to use my whittle thumb. Now before I lose that piece, I'm going to just slide it right in here. These are the extra photographs that I wanted to include in the layout, but didn't have room on the layout. So I just took a flip flop and sewed this one up just to have a little extra interest, and here's all the other photos that I wanted to include. I'm going to set that over to the side. And with this, I'm going to put my lettering down, but I wanted to make sure I spelled it correctly, so I made a note. And I think what I'm going to do is take my little bitty ruler. Oh, that'll work. The little X's are going to be perfect. Okay. Okay, we'll put these away in a bit. Slightly off center, but I am not going to take all that up and redo it. Okay, so we have this there, like that. And then I got to put my 4x6s down, and then these. Okay. Just like that. Perfect. Okay. So then we have these two. And then this one. And then that's going to go there. Okay. There we go. Now it's not quite so sitting there by itself. Checking to make sure I didn't have to leave room for stitching. For that one, I don't. Now, this is an odd little photo. It looks like it's messed up, but it's not. I actually took a picture of Grandma and my daughter Michaela through glass. So you're seeing the reflection of their clothing, and then their faces are right on top where they're supposed to be, through glass. I thought it was a pretty cool picture. And then I'm going to do the same thing I did a minute ago. So I'm going to stitch this and stitch this. Now you're probably asking yourself, why do I like stitching so much? Well, first off, most of the time you're not even using $1 worth of thread to do your stitching. Second of all, it is a surefire way to make sure your paper stays on, stays together and doesn't come apart. And it's really, really cool when you're holding like 3 and 4 layers together, because you know for certain it's not going anywhere. It also adds a bit of texture, and it adds a bit of interest without adding a lot of weight or bulk to the album. It would seem like it would, but it really does not. So that's why I like it, and when close to my heart, because they are still the primary company that I use when they come out with new colors. I just take a little bit punch like a 1-inch circle out of a piece of cardstock, and I take that 1-inch circle with me down to the local craft store, and I plop my butt down and I just match up the colors as best I can. I also take a list with me of past colors, because sometimes you have colors that are exactly the same, like Smoothie and Sorbet. After, I think they did a lot change or something, and Smoothie and Sorbet for a while were the same color as far as DMC thread was concerned. There's another one on the list. I don't have the list in front of me at the moment, but it's the same. Or it could be a past color that they bring it back and it's called a different color on paper, but DMC, as far as DMC is concerned, it is the same color as a past color that we used to sell. Now I'll show you a trick to make sure you didn't skip any holes. If you turn it over, you should have solid pokey holes. If you have a break anywhere, then you have skipped a hole. Okay, I am just about finished with the stitching. It takes a bit of time, but it really is relaxing. I've been sitting here listening to a book. There is a pitter-patter of rain on my roof, hence the shadowing, because it's cloudy outside. It's just a very relaxing day. The book that I'm listening to is a Nora Roberts romance, but one of the main characters made a big old pot of beef stew. So before I started filming, I went to the store and I bought the makings. Sorry, I didn't want to poke myself. I bought the makings for a beef stew. So when I am finished with this, I will go downstairs and start the stew. And that's just, things that I think about while I'm stitching. One more stitch. Always, always, always put your needle up first. Make sure it's safe, because they really do hurt when they end up in your foot. So I believe, I haven't thought of anything else to put on this page. So I believe that it is finished, so it will look like this in the album. Actually, no, I'm sorry, in the album it'll look like this. And then as you're flipping through your album, you just flip this over and you get more. So if I think of any journaling, because all the other pages in front of this are journaling about this outing, but if I think of any more journaling, it will go right here, which is why I have this blank, because I can always just throw a little piece of vellum journaling on there. So let me show you what we ended up with. This is page 1, and there are the thicker words. Not quite straight, but you know what? I'm naturally blonde. They're as straight as I'm going to get them. My little pieces of flare, stitching. This is the extra photos. And then page 2. So this layout that would have been 4 photos, because in the original this was journaling. When I add the extra 5 photographs along with this, that ends up being a 13 photograph layout. And this is it all together. And I'll scoot that out of the way so you can see. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. I know that there are many, many things that you could be doing, and I am so appreciative that you choose to spend a few minutes of it with me. Until next time, bye-bye.